I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yes or no? Did you ever take banned substances to enhance your cycling performance?
Yes.
I had no prior knowledge of the planned assault on Nancy Kerrigan.
I am deeply sorry for my irresponsible and selfish behavior I engaged in.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the podcast. It is unseasonably hot out there, so wear some sunscreen and but try to enjoy your summer at the same time.
You can wear sunscreen and enjoy your summer at the same time.
Get
one of those SPF shirts.
Get one of those SPF shirts, indeed.
Sorry, you're about to.
I would like to learn about these SPF shirts, actually. Julio Gallerati here, joined by Ryan Lynch. As per usual, he has a fresh little haircut going.
Yo. Happy Thursday.
It looks very sort of like British fuckboy.
Thank you. Yeah.
You know, you got the necklace, you got the nice cut. We just got to get you a nice sunburn, and then you will fit right in.
There you go.
Good to see you. Tell me more about these SPF shirts, dude.
I think there's nothing. I'm not an expert, but they make shirts that block the sun, and if you wear them, you're protected.
Nice.
They're pretty heavy. The technology is cool, and it's a fun thing to tell people you're wearing when you're wearing them.
I know they say that you can get burned through your shirt. It's never happened to me, and I'm pretty fair-skinned. Mm-hmm. So I'm wondering sort of like what environment you would need to be in for that to happen.
I bet it's the material.
It's happened to you, right?
I don't.
Somebody was saying it happened to them. Maybe
Cotton or polyester can block around 5 to 15% of UV radiation, but that doesn't cut it for adequate sun protection. You need a sun shirt or other UPF clothing with a UPF 50 plus
UPF
rating. UPF is ultraviolet protection factor. I have a Vineyard Vines shirt that is like plus 70.
Oh shit!
It's like heavy duty beach shirt.
Damn.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
July, August beach shirt.
It's a polo or a tee or what?
It's just a long sleeve athletic material shirt
yes,
like this
one.
one.
I know those.
But it's a little heavy.
Those I see like landscaper dudes wearing those.
Yeah.
I wonder if those are UPF shirts as well.
They definitely are. My brother works on a golf course all day. He's wearing long sleeves.
Yeah.
Even in the heat of the summer.
And he's just used to it.
Yeah, he's just used to it. They're also they're breathable. I don't know how I'll bring it next time.
Okay,
I'll bring it next time. You can touch it.
Because I see dude like landscaper guys and they have long pants, long sleeves, and they typically have like a hat that's guarding their neck. Like they're in the sun all day, so I understand it, but I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
These guys must be hot. But to your point, I guess they design stuff for that.
Yeah, you look like you got some good pigment on your legs.
I got color, dude. I got tan all around.
Yeah, where were you?
I tried. So I went away for the weekend. So this is where I want to get to next. There's a couple noteworthy things to report here. So Hill Dog had a bachelorette party on Long Island. I also went to stay with friends and just kind of made sense. We drove out together, et cetera, et cetera. So she rented the car because she needed it for her weekend. But, I sort of agreed to sort of make the reservation for her, go get it. I helped her sort of load up all the stuff. And then she was going to go on her way. I was going to go on my way. So I made a little miscalculation here. What I was planning to do, so we were in the Hamptons. She was in Southampton. I was going to stay in East Hampton. And the Ubers out there can be pretty expensive. So the Uber to get to, for whatever reason, I forget if she put this in my head or if I put it in my own head. We had discussed that an Uber from her to me would probably be like $30, which I know better. I know that it's more than that.
That was just a guesstimate?
I guess.
Okay.
I guess. I hadn't taken one in a while out there. So I was like, that sounds like it'll be about right. So we get to her house. It's, we leave after she's out of work. So we get there kind of late. It's a bachelorette party. It hasn't begun yet, but I didn't want to go in the house and linger around. It just felt like a lame move. She's saying that that's ridiculous. I guess the bride-to-be's parents were kind of still around. I didn't realize that. I thought they had left because they weren't there. But no one was there except her and her friend, and then everybody was to come eventually. And I didn't want to just be hanging around. It felt weird. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I'm going to get out of here immediately. I wouldn't even go in the house. I was like, it's bad juju. They thought I was weird, but whatever. I go to call the Uber. It's like $80 or $100. I'm like, yo, fuck this. This is too much. But I don't want to now sort of be a problem. So I'm not going to be like, oh, can you drive me? Because I knew they had to start setting up the party. So I Ubered to the train station. There was a train coming in an hour. and then it would go to where I needed to go. My boy would pick me up there, and it was like $3. So I'm like, I'm just going to do that. $10 Uber to the thing. I don't tell her that I'm doing this because it would turn into this thing where she would feel bad that I was doing that, which would lead her to giving me a ride. But I know that her giving me a ride now cuts into the time that she's supposed to be setting up and settling in. So I don't want to do that. I intend to eventually kind of tell her that at some point, but I storied a thing of these flickering lights, which made it obvious that I was at a train station. I didn't even realize I had done it. Like you could barely see Hampton, like East Hampton, but it's Hampton. Like I just caught the corner of it by accident. She then figured out that I was at the train. It was no big deal. But while I was waiting for the train, I ordered Uber Eats to the train station. Have you ever ordered Uber Eats to a non-address?
No.
It's a hilarious and interesting scenario. I'm just sitting at the train station. I had to like run in the middle of the street, and it was late at night. No one's there. It was also like a Wednesday in June, so it's not a busy time, you know. Anyway, sat there, ate my food, got on the train ticket, no big deal. But I was a little bummed that I had sort of dropped the ball logistically there, because now, you know, I waited, I think, an hour and a half for the train or something.
But where in this situation, I want to defend you here, where in this situation did you drop the ball? It just seems like awkward circumstances that came to be.
Well, for whatever reason, the idea of getting a ride out there sounded so appealing. Because for a couple of reasons. So first of all, the ways to get out there, you could take the train or you can take the jitney, which is basically just the bus. Now, the jitney leaves from 3rd Avenue in Manhattan. It may also leave from Brooklyn. I don't know. I haven't looked into it, but I think it only leaves from the city. It may leave, if it leaves from Brooklyn, I need to look into that. But I intended to bring a lot of shit, and it just sounded like a bitch to have to take a bunch of shit to take a public transportation. Now, I forgot that it's the middle of the week in June. I'm used to it just being really crowded, and getting to the train would have been annoying. And I was like, whatever, I have a ride. This is great. I don't care if I have to go pick up the car. I don't care if. So that's where I ended up. I kind of got blinded by how sweet getting a ride sounded.
I get that.
You know?
Yeah.
And then, you know, I convinced her to kind of come pick me up on the way home after her long weekend. But their bachelorette party, man, it looked super fun. So it was like a whole thing. I guess the first night they went out to dinner. Second day they had a hibachi chef, and they did like a murder mystery too.
Ooh,
which was sick.
Never done one of those.
Which was like a surprise, and I think that the bride to be is into that sort of thing in theory. So the company's fun too, because they tell you in advance what all the different characters might look like for a different scenario. And then you can kind of decide which person at the party best fits that description to make it like the most authentic and fun. And like everybody leaned into it. Everybody had costumes, like super fun sounding. I think they went to Surf Lodge the next day after having sort of a catered brunch. And it was this big, great, fun looking weekend.
It looked, I saw on the stories that she caught an egg in her hat that she was wearing.
Spatula to egg.
Yeah.
Hibachi transfer.
That sounds like so much fun. Have you ever done a murder mystery type of thing? Is that like a role play? So like you pick the character and then you get to like you lean into that person, you like take over that, you embody that role.
Pretty much, yeah. And I think that there are these companies, I guess this company that they used to be theater actors or something, and during the pandemic they started writing these little like fun murder mystery things and doing it to make some extra money, and now it's turned into their business. So something like that. But yeah, to what you're saying, and then I guess there's, you know, however many outcomes that are possible.
Yeah. That's cool. I want to try something like that for my bachelor party.
It sounds fun.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun.
It sounds fun, dude. So yeah, I've always maintained that bachelorette parties are much more fun than the typical bachelor party. Much more thoughtful and still fun. You know what I mean? But everybody sort of goes all in with the planning and all the stuff. So
yeah,
it was pretty nice.
The guys, yeah, the girls are so much more thoughtful. There's decorating. The guys, everyone shows up and people are twiddling their thumbs when it's time to order alcohol to the house.
Right. Exactly.
People are like, oh, we have to get alcohol. no, we shouldn't do that. We'll have to tip the Instacart driver. No shit. So why? Also, you not going into the house was the right move.
I appreciate that.
I think that was the right move. Even though you were made out to be like a weirdo or whatever for it, that is the right move. And you just gotta it stinks that you're getting kind of like, no, come on. No.
Agreed.
Way to be about that.
Thank you. Yeah, dude. And also, bachelor parties, like, you're much more likely to end up sleeping on a couch or a floor or something. Like, these girls had figured it all out. Everybody had a bed. And I get girls who are like more comfortable sleeping in bed together because they're smaller or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But they planned it out perfectly, and it looked like a lot of fun.
Maybe instead of having a bachelor party, you should have a bachelorette party.
So that is the plan, apparently. Like, I've heard that there are people rumbling about trying to do that for me. I don't know anything about it.
Yo, you get to be a woman for a weekend.
It's a funny idea.
That would be fun.
So if they're able to pull it off, it'll be funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like where your head's at too with that.
Yeah.
Well, dude, I had a good weekend also though with like good fortune when it came to certain things. So we went to dinner on Thursday night, and my boy picked up the bill. Sweetheart that he is. I was like, I appreciate that, dude.
Sweetheart.
It was also kind of leaning pricey too. So I was like, all right, whatever. I'm prepared to sort of pay for this still, and then having it paid for. Great. Then Friday night, we go to like a pretty expensive dinner. My friend takes all our cards. He was paying for his girl, and then the rest of us were just guys that were alone. So like he covered 2 portions of the bill, which I think is the proper thing for him to do. And then the rest of us kind of paid for ourselves. So it was like over $100 each, whatever. But he's like, their printing machine's broken, so there's no receipts. Do you guys care? I'm like, no, it's fine. Everybody gets their cards, whatever. Then I notice on my statement that it's not popping up as a pending charge. And everybody starts to notice this too.
How quickly did you notice that?
So the next day, I'm like, hey, did you ever get charged for? And my boy's like, no, I didn't actually. And then we asked our other friend. He's like, yeah, I didn't either. So we're kind of like hopeful, but we're like, all right, whatever. Like the system was slow. Like I'm sure that we'll get charged tomorrow. No charge the next day. Friday, no charge. Saturday, no charge. Sunday, no charge. We're like, well, maybe, Monday it'll hit. Monday, no charge. And now today, when we are recording, it is now Tuesday. And I'm going to look and see if it has popped up yet.
So just to clear this up, your friend that
Fuck, it just hit.
No.
Fuck.
No. Throw out my question.
Oh my
then.
God, no.
Damn.
I'm going to text him right now.
It's like you made money. It's like you made over $100.
Dude, literally.
That's the girl math
Dude,
behind it.
Dude, I'm not kidding you. I have a little thing where I write down how much money I make every week. I wrote it down.
You wrote it down?
And now I am now deleting it. I'm now deleting it. I just texted my friend, fuck, it hit. And he just replied, fuck.
Oh, it stinks.
Bastards. Bastards.
Stinks.
All right, well, I take it back. But then Saturday night, we went to this place, the Meeting House, which is in Amagansett. Shout out to Max Lerner, who has brought it back. I think it was a restaurant that was in his family previously. It was this sort of Amagansett institution, staple spot right in the square. Such a vibe. If you've ever been to the Hamptons, maybe you know it or you know the area. But to me, Amagansett is the best part of the Hamptons. Anyway, they've brought Meeting House back, and it is as good as ever. Great price point, great vibe, great drinks, great food, and good times had all around. So I was able to get some sun, hang around. It was a bummer to not have a car. There were times where I was just sort of like hanging at the house and like starting to twiddle my thumbs a little bit, but I got some sun, feeling good.
You looked in. How much laughter was there? You share some good laughter with your buddies?
Some good laughter.
That's
some good
best.
laughter.
That's better than a tan.
Some good laughter indeed.
Oh wait, what were some of our summer laughter on a balcony? Did you share a laugh on a balcony at all?
No, but
outside?
Laughter with a cool breeze nearby and a pool and a pond, and my friend's place who I stay with. I mean, it's just spectacular. I mean, it's so nice actually that I'm fairly certain there's no way I will ever be able to have that for a variety of reasons. First and foremost, in order to have a place like they have, they bought the land a long time ago, and they've sort of slowly created this incredible property, adding of this, adding that, building, being hands-on, and creating this value over time. So if you were to buy that now, it would just be insanely expensive. You know what I mean? So it's pretty sick and cool to see the way that they do all that. So in a way, it's almost liberating because I feel less sort of like driven by money in this weird way.
Because you have access?
Maybe that's part of it, but maybe also because I'm like, this will never, like, I will never have this.
Mm-hmm. So you don't need to worry about it.
Yeah. As defeatist as that sounds, I'm like, okay, I have that. Like, I'm happy with what I have too. I've done fairly well for myself thus far. Hopefully it can kind of continue trending upward. But yeah, I don't, that doesn't necessarily fully make sense still.
That's not toxic because this is Montauk.
I don't think it's toxic.
You weren't
Montoxic.
Montoxic.
It's not Montauk. It's the town before Montauk.
Okay, but still, like you're in that area. Like that is one of the most expensive places, right?
Like I think
in the
period.
World?
Yeah.
In the world.
Yeah.
In the solar system.
In the solar system.
The whole solar system.
So
wow, dude.
Anyway, pretty sweet. But dude, so I was away from Hillary for a while.
Sad.
We then were driving back and we got into a little fight. No big deal. It's just more about like, I think more of like crankiness, maybe on both of our parts. Like nothing really happened in particular. And we kind of moved on pretty quickly. But we both noted that 90 minutes that we were fighting was very significant because we're not going to have that much time together in the coming weeks. So as we sit here and record this, I'm about to leave for Portland right now. I fly out tonight, and from there, I will not see her at all until the weekend, which it doesn't seem like a big deal. Saturday and Sunday, I will see her. I'm going to be in LA. We're going to overlap. And then I won't see her for 2 weeks after that.
Oh.
So that's a lot of time. And I'm finding myself in this place where the things that normally really make me happy and excite me aren't for some reason. And I just want to hang out with Hill Dog, which is maybe not healthy or something. I don't really know. I don't know what's going on, but I usually am excited about having a bunch of flights or I'm going to go to a national park. I have a bunch of fun things in theory coming up, but all I want to do is hang out with Hill Dog. And it's, it's romantic.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be so codependent.
Yeah, that's something I need to work on too. I can't give you advice there. You gotta put
You feel the same way?
I feel the same way. Oops, fam. If you have any like structured advice on how to deal with that, I think both of us would appreciate it. Vic's gonna be gone for a week next week. That's gonna be a lot for me. I think I said it on the podcast. I go to a dark place when Vic's not around, and that's a personal toxic trait. I need to be more independent as well. Got to find some fun things to do.
Agreed. Dude.
Maybe we should go to the movies together next week.
Yeah, we could.
Yeah.
Be nice.
There's a bunch of good movies coming out. We can go to the movies together.
Let's go hit a movie lunch.
Yeah, I don't know. That's 90 minutes. That's crucial. That's crucial
amount of time.
Bonding giggle time.
In the circumstances. And yeah, dude.
You got your whole lives together though.
Yeah. And so it's funny too, because we don't always like to do the same shit, which is fine. I don't think you like need to want to always do the same thing with people. But I would say in general, I'm more adventurous than she is. Part of that is because of her insane nut allergy. Mm-hmm. Like honestly, like it can boil down just to that. Like, will we be able to communicate properly the allergy situation? Plus, is there care nearby where she'd have a reaction, et cetera, et cetera. But also, yeah, like she's more of her work schedule is pretty like binding. So in her free time, she kind of just wants to chill. I like to bop around, et cetera. So I'm hoping that this doesn't turn into a thing where for the rest of my life, I'm just defaulting to want to hang out with her instead of doing the things that I otherwise would have wanted to do.
It's a lovely feeling though to miss your partner.
Yeah.
Loving to miss. I know it is. A week apart is sad. 2 weeks apart, that's sad.
Yeah. Yeah. Even like this morning when she left for work, it felt like I was going fucking to Afghanistan again, dude.
Did you give her a big hug?
Yeah, I did, but I can't even like imagine. I don't even remember what that hug felt like before I was going to Afghanistan.
How long were you gone for?
10 days. And it was like the end of the summer too, which is like a fun time. Typically, like, I mean, what a fucking cowboy. And usually it's like that moment where you say bye is the hardest part. And then it's like easier from there. But yeah, it's interesting to like try to remember how you were feeling in a specific moment. You typically only remember the outcome, and if it looked like it was good, then it feels like it was good when you look back, but you don't remember what things feel like always. Which is why I think journaling is a healthy exercise, even if you never read it. It's like reassuring to know that you could reference it if you had to.
Yeah. How do you guys say goodbye to each other typically? Do you have like a thing?
Like a secret handshake?
Just like a thing. Yeah, that wouldn't put it past you.
Yeah, we have little stuff we do.
Yeah, but not to disclose in the pod.
No, we can. Like, no, there's not, it's just like we hug. I don't know. We don't have like a tradition or something necessarily. Do you have a thing?
When she's walking out the door or I'm walking out the door, one of us will go, and then the other one will go as they're walking
cute.
away. So we don't even say goodbye. We don't say I love you. Well, sometimes we do, but we just do it each
cute.
time. And that's just like a, hey, all is well. See you later. In case you die, goodbye. That's what we do.
That's sweet.
When Vic and I were visiting each other doing distance, I think I'd like be on the verge of crying every time we said goodbye. Because I wouldn't know for certain when I'd see her next. It typically was like every 2 weeks.
And how long ago was this?
This was before COVID. Right before COVID.
So you're what, like 22 at the time or something?
23.
Yeah, that sort of emotional response is a young man's game.
Yeah.
Don't you think so? Like as you get older, it becomes easier to deal with that feeling.
The thing now that you mention that, I would cry and then get over it. When Vic leaves now, I get sad and dark, and I think that's worse than crying. I think
the crying,
but maybe
you get
that's
it out, right?
But maybe being sad is a grown man's game.
Maybe, but crying is like you're reaching a higher peak.
Yeah.
Even if it's just quick, like you're getting there. You know what I mean? Because I remember, dude, the first time I fell in love, man. Like the shit you think and do, and like it's crazy. You name your kids, and it's hard to like understand the different steps of it too, because you haven't done it before. So like you do things that you should have the control to not do. So, and this might not apply to you, but in general, like it's one of those things where the first time you fall in love, it's easy to sort of like forget about everything else in your life. You know, you become the guy who doesn't hang out with his friends as much. Now look, as you get older and you have a family, like you naturally don't have time anymore. It's a different kind of vibe. Like you have a job, you have a family, you don't have time. You literally just don't have time. Mm-hmm. But when you're younger, you do, and you choose to spend that time only with the girl or the guy, and suddenly you have this unhealthy life where it's not balanced enough for the relationship to survive. You sort of lose yourself in the relationship, and now neither of you have identities, and it becomes this weird thing. So you learn as you go not to do these things, and I think that it makes all the different stages easier. You know?
Yeah.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Not that any of that matters.
No, but that's good. That's good advice out there to some of our younger listeners.
To some of our younger listeners.
Yeah. Well, we'll get through it.
Yeah,
You'll get through it.
We'll get through it.
Love to love.
Love to love. So, dude, one more funny thing from the bachelorette party. So they did this game where you had to sort of, I think Hillary thought of this. It's very clever. You sit in a circle or whatever, and one person, so you would dare me to do something, and then I have to dare the person next to me to do something. You try to think of stuff for everybody. There was one really funny one that someone thought of. One of Hillary's friends thought of this. Her dare to the person sitting next to her was she needed to send a nude of herself to her fiance with no context.
That one's pretty nice.
That's pretty funny, dude. Like if I just got a nude like that out of context, I'd be like, what the fuck is happening? Like, I think that is a very clever one.
Because you need context, especially for a nude.
Dude, like to just get, and maybe there's some couples that do that and it's normal to just get a nude out of context, but I would guess that maybe it's less frequent than the other way around. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that is normal.
I don't do that.
Which makes it funny.
Yeah. No, especially, I bet this is the type of person that wouldn't do that. For them to pick that as the dare.
I know this person and I don't know for sure, but I'm guessing most likely that the fiance, who I know also, got the text and was like, what?
But as you said, you could never know for sure.
But dude, it's funny because in theory, a nude is supposed to be good,
Yeah.
right? But how random getting this nude is, you'd be concerned. You'd be like, what's happening? Are you okay?
Mine would go to everywhere.
Were you taken hostage?
Yeah.
What is happening?
I love the idea that she gets whispered the dare, or she gets told the dare, and then she gets up and then she like goes, she walks away from the group and she goes into the bathroom or she goes into a bedroom.
Right.
And then she unzips her jean shorts or unbuttons them because some jean shorts don't have zippers. They only have buttons, and she pulls them all the way down and then her, takes everything off and then has to line up against a mirror or a bathroom mirror and take a photo and then send it.
And
then
do like a Gen Z, like,
yeah, something like that. Because you can't send a limp, like your shoulders are like slouched. Like you have to like perk up and like you probably have to think about it a little bit. And
what about this one?
That's fun.
What about this one?
That's giving JoJo Siwat. That's a fun one. You do a cross-eyed.
You like that face. That's a
I-
classic Lynch.
When we were when we were going to the Celtics game, they had like the cameras for like ABC, and they were interviewing this family. It was like this. They were doing something cute with this family, and I walked behind, and I was like, while they were talking, and I hope it was live.
It's either a stupid face or it's some like 13-year-old kid going,
oh my God. That's a new thing that they're doing. There's got to be a term for that when like you like trick the cameraman into like being like an innocent person, or the cameraman thinks you're going to be an innocent person and then you do the Gluck Gluck 9000. When I was at the Yankees game, last week, dude, there was this kid, the most adorable like kid. He looks like he says please and thank you, and he tucks in his chair and he like waves to the camera like this, and then he's like and oh my God, the camera panned away. Like they cut the camera so fast, but not fast enough for him to do a couple glucks for the whole stadium to see.
Dude, and then it ends up on the Daquan Instagram page being like, he wrong for this.
Actually, this is Calvin. He lives in Somerville, New Jersey, and he's 8 years old because they know everything.
Real bad man.
Yeah. Did you write down some artists that don't exist?
I did.
Oh, sweet. You want to do those?
Let's do it. So Lynch texted me the other day, and he's like, it would be fun to come up with some potential artist names. Some of these are like bands, and other are individual artists potentially.
Yeah. First one I have is Benji Goodgut.
Benji Goodgut.
Benji plays the banjo, and he's like from Colorado, and he's kind of a hippie, and he always advocates about gut health. That's kind of like the overarching theme of all of his music.
And that's a lane that doesn't exist yet.
Yes. And gut is like a very trendy word right now, so he would pop off in the charts.
Eat fiber. I didn't do as much as far as like talking about
That's okay.
what the artists are. I just thought of names. Falling Down.
Falling Down. That sounds like a good band name.
Agreed. Is that already a band name?
Let me see. There is a band called Falling Down.
There is.
Falling Down was a vegan straight edge metalcore
What the
band
fuck?
from Wilmington, North Carolina.
What the fuck?
Formed in 1993. And in 1995, the band released an EP, regrouping shortly afterwards under the name Day of Suffering. Falling Down.
Bro, I never thought that like dietary sort of restrictions were part of the bands. Benji Goodgut sounded insane, but it sounds like Benji Goodgut is in Falling Down.
He could be. He could be disassociated in 1993. I have Angus and the Cheddar. So it's kind of like a stocky singer. And then there's three people that play the other instruments, and their names are Slice, Cheesy, and Matzo.
This is interesting. Angus and the Cheddar. Great. Next one I have is Puff Puff Puff.
Yeah. How's it spelled?
Puff.
I like that. It could be like Puff X3 too if you want to be a rapper. Is that a rapper?
I don't know.
Okay. I have the Lincoln Logs.
I like that.
Always building people up. So, and that was a toy that I played with back in the day. Did you have Lincoln Logs?
Maybe.
You know what they are?
Yeah, they're like
Yeah.
you're like building blocks basically.
Yeah. So I like it. Also was like a play off of Lincoln Park.
Right? Lincoln Logs, you can build shit with them.
Yeah, they're like little wooden blocks.
Yeah.
There's not much you can only really build up with
Yeah.
them, and then they have these little crevices that they place into each other. So really intuitive.
The crypto gliders.
Crypto gliders. I could see that being they perform at the Brooklyn Mirage.
Yes, I could see that as well.
I have the Tonsil Touchers, heavy metal band, very sexual.
Aunt Jemima and the Whistling Dixies.
I like that one.
like that.
Where were you? Where were you when you typed these up?
In a
Were you
coffee
sitting on the
shop.
couch?
In a coffee shop with no Wi-Fi and no outlets.
It's giving Saltburn. It's giving the end of Saltburn where he's just playing on the keyboard, not doing
I still
anything.
haven't seen it, by the way.
Oh,
I need to see
well,
it.
that's not a spoiler.
Maybe it'll be on the plane.
This one is Minnie Meow Moo. It is a Korean pop singer, and she sings at a very high alto octave.
Mrs. Meow Moo?
Minnie Meow Moo.
Minnie Meow Moo.
Minnie Meow Moo.
I like that. So, all right. My next one is Mr. Falk.
Mr. Falk.
Mr. Falk.
What's his vibe?
I didn't get that far. These are all just sample names. Like, I didn't get far enough
Mr.
with the
Falk.
vibe. Mr. Falk, yeah. I don't know.
You know, it'd be funny if Mr. Falk was like exclusively like a very clean singer, and he sings just like songs about just, you know, good rooted lessons and blessings and morals that we should all
He's trying
adopt.
to destigmatize the word fuck or something.
But yeah, his name just happens to be Mr. Falk.
He's probably a DJ, dude.
Yeah, Mr. Falk. That's a good one. All right, I got 3 more. I have Driver and the Parputs.
Nice.
So once again, it's a lead singer and his 3 little good enough gang. Get the job done gang.
My next one is John Johnson.
John Johnson. Waste of Whimsy.
Waste of Whimsy?
Yeah. It's like a guy that was, he originally was a solo artist. I don't know what his name is, but he was singing really funny, comedic songs, kind of like a Bo Burnham. But then his wife died, and now he continues to sing, but he's lost all of his glow. And so he sings All Darkness. And Waste of Whimsy is not a nice, like, he shouldn't have named it Waste of Whimsy, but he is so upset that he thinks he's a waste. And so that's why he titled his second group Waste of Whimsy. And everyone's like, you're not a waste, but that's just what he called it because he's so sad and he lost all of his confidence.
Waste of Whimsy, poor guy.
Yeah. Do you have
My last one is What's Good, Kid?
What's good, kid? Hey, what's good, kid? That's a good, like, who's on first type of situation if you're to say hi. My last 2, I have Indie River, which is the opposite of mainstream, except they are actually like the band of the decade, 2 years running. They're the most mainstream band in the country. But their name is Indie River, playing off of mainstream. And then this one I think you would appreciate, Men of Merit.
I like Men of Merit.
And Men of Merit is a group of guys that work on the Merritt Parkway. And if you haven't been on the Merritt in Connecticut, it is a very thin highway that is constantly filled with tons of traffic because they're working on the landscaping in between the lanes. And everybody just gives them dirty looks, and everyone's kind of just angry at them being there. And so these guys decided to get together and form a band so that they can express themselves because they're actually good guys just doing a job.
They don't talk about working on the highway, or do they?
They do. They talk about it, but they're trying to also express
This is
who
where
they
all
are
met.
because they're more than just people that work on the Merit. They're men of merit, and so that's what they try to express through their singing.
Solid.
Yeah.
Solid.
So those are those. That was fun.
Very nicely thought out, Lynch. So those are some band names. If you guys are looking to start a band and you don't have any,
I like Puff Puff Puff.
you don't have any guidance.
What was your first one again?
Let's see. My first
Then
one
we can
was
move on.
Falling Down,
Falling Down.
starring Benny Goodgut.
Falling Down, starring Benny Goodgut, and they are a vegan A vegan straight edge metalcore band.
That's a crazy tie-in.
Any of our listeners in Wilmington, North Carolina, let us know if you've seen them.
Go check them out for sure. So, dude, my shoulder's actually starting to feel really good, which is great. And I'm so happy and excited. But naturally, as it goes, now I've happened to fuck something else up. My hip is all fucked up. Saying that your hip is fucked up makes you sound like such an old fuck. I don't specifically know what's wrong, but I went to PT the other day. Shout out to our boy Tommy Kern, doing the Lord's work, fully helped me kind of rehab my shoulder and get back. But I decided to be a hero, go out there, play tennis like as if I play all the time. And I managed to have sort of tweaked something. And we've decided that it makes sense to sort of take a solid little hiatus from doing anything that will upset this area and just kind of resting and trying to make it better by doing some little exercises and shit. So I find myself out the game for about 6 weeks. And I was really pumped to play tennis when I was in the Hamptons. So it's a bummer that I didn't get to. But, you know, we do what we have to so that we don't have to get a hip replacement someday.
Yeah.
But it's a fucking bummer.
I'm sorry about that.
It sucks, dude.
I've heard that the hip replacement, I'm not saying that we're there, but it changes your life.
I believe it.
My friend's dad got his hip replaced and like he is like killing it. He's doing tons of stuff.
Oh, it's been good for him?
It's been great for him.
Oh, interesting.
So
I've heard that the other way around. Like, well, actually, it depends the context.
yeah, it depends what you do. I don't know if you can replace your hip and play tennis.
Like, if you're old and you break a hip, like, chances are you're going to die much faster, they say. Because you suddenly, like you're too old for it to, like, heal super well. It takes away your mobility. And, like, if you're not sort of staying active, like, it's hard to live longer. So like, when old people fall, it can be, like, a big deal because they're more brittle and fragile and all that shit. So anyway, whatever. I'm just trying to give myself longevity. I want to be able to sort of hike and be active and do all this shit for as long as possible. So taking a small step backward to take a big step forward, hopefully.
Big step.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Sorry about that.
Yeah,
But your shoulder feels good?
Shoulder feels great.
What was the when did it start to hurt?
Shoulder?
Yeah.
A while ago, bro. It was like a couple of years of like trying to get it back. I just had some like degenerative shit. So anyway, we just did a bunch of like rehabbing and stuff just to like get it to a place where it was feeling good, and it finally is. But you know, classic situation where once you fix one thing, another thing goes wrong. So gotta get this leg back feeling good, and we will.
And we will.
We will.
Everyone in the comment section, please, if on the YouTube version of this episode, if you want Julio to get better, please comment with the prayers emoji, or say thoughts and prayers in the comment section, and that'll show us how much faith you guys got that Julio can get better.
Indeed. So anyway, thank you guys. If you want to see me perform in any particular city, in the link in my bio, on all of my socials, on Instagram, TikTok, etc., you can click in. There's a little form you can fill out. Just throw your city in there, and it helps me sort of decide where I'm going to go next and all that stuff. So that's super helpful. But in the meantime, come see me in New York City in July. Come see me in Pasadena, California, right outside of LA in August, and in St. Pete, Florida, my second home, 20th and 21st of September. We'll have some more tour dates coming as well. Lynch, anything to add?
Check me out, please, at Ron Is Really Polite. And we got more merch on the way, some awesome designs, and we'll be posting a lot about that. Can't wait to see you guys rocking them. And we'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good week.